Favi, what's going on, man? It's
Hey,
been what, like 2 or 3 weeks since you've been on to discuss anything MLS. You and I both were sick, so we just missed each other. We probably would have linked up a little sooner, but how's everything going, man?
it's going well. I mean, I was as sick as a dog. I'm not gonna lie. I got the flu, and so I've been a little busy. But yeah, and then you got the flu, so it's funny. We live on two different coasts, but we both got basically the same thing. I feel like.
It's going around, man. It's going around. But the good news is we're both healthy, and a lot of stuff has happened, especially yesterday, dude. Yesterday was crazy, crazy, crazy day in MLS with all these transactions. But before we get into that, we got a goal tonight. We're going to hit 200 likes on this stream, at least by tomorrow, dude. We got big ambition. We got 20 in the chat so far. It will pick up as the show goes on. Make sure you like the show down below if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell notification so you never miss any of my videos. And Favi and I are going to be discussing Lucho Acosta, Evander, what the Timbers are going to be doing to replace him. And if you have any questions, we'll answer those as well. But start off with Lucho Acosta. We got a couple comments. Bobby Millie Tube says Lucho to Dallas. Bro should have went to Argentina. GTFOH. Nolan says no one in Argentina wanted him. Jose says FC Dallas is better than Argentina, anyways. Okay, so first of all, we got to preface this. Lucho Acosta there's been a lingering question if he was going to stay, is he going to go, personal issues, all this different things, right? And we really didn't know what was going to happen, Favi. It looked like he was probably going to go back to Argentina and be closer to family, and that he was for sure not going to be in Major League Soccer any longer. But then yesterday, FC Dallas pulled a deal off for $5 million. It's the new trade rule where you can buy players outright. You don't have to trade GAM anymore. You can just buy them. FC Dallas bought Lucho Acosta for $5 million plus up to $1 million in performance-based incentives. And they retain a sell-on percentage of Acosta if he's transferred within MLS in a future cash for a player trade. So Lucho Acosta is the new DP for FC Dallas. He is going to replace Alan Velasco, who they sold to, I think it was Boca Juniors, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. He is the new DP, number 10. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, look, I didn't expect FC Dallas to do this transfer, to be honest. I thought they were in full-on sell mode. Maybe they possibly think they can flip Lucho Acosta for some more cash for trade later down the road. But it's interesting to see. Now they're going to have Lucho Acosta feeding Peter Musa. So this team's going to be exciting. It's going to be a team that's going to score goals. You still have Sebastian Lletget. I was looking at the roster. You still have Paz. So it's a good transfer. I'm not going to lie. It's $6 million. You get a known commodity in the league. It's something that I thought he was on his way to Argentina for sure, but it turns out that he was just pissed off at the ownership and the GM, and he just wanted his way out of Cincinnati. So it's interesting to see what's going on with Lucho Acosta, but it's actually kind of fun to see that the FC Dallas social media team was definitely excited about this transfer. I mean, they went off all day with Lucho Acosta memes and Lucho Acosta stuff, so it was cool. I mean, they are getting an MVP, so this is a big trade. So no matter what he was saying, it's still a big deal for FC Dallas to get this guy.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I was shocked that he was traded. I was a little shocked it was Dallas. I expect him to go back to Argentina because of all the things we've heard off the field about maybe some personal issues and just wanting to get back home. I think this obviously makes Dallas very, very good. They have a playmaker to link up with, Peter Musa, the Moose, who was very good last year and really didn't have a lot of help in Dallas. Lucho Acosta is still a very good player. He's only 30 years old, Bobby. He'll be 31 this year, but he's 30 for now.
Crazy. That's crazy.
And yeah, I know. It feels like he's been around for a minute, right? I mean, right. DC United days, I mean, that was almost a decade ago. He came here pretty young. And
30 years old is kind of insane if you really think about it, because he's been with DC United. He went to Mexico, FC Cincinnati. Like, this guy has had some miles traveled, but man, only 30 years old.
I mean, if he stays healthy, he could play another high level for probably 3 to 4 years. High
Right.
level, right? High level, especially the way he plays. But they're acquiring an MVP, Fabi. Guy won MVP in 2023, single-handedly prevailed Cincinnati to their goal, the supporter shield, which he's holding in this picture, made Cincinnati relevant. Now, Pat Noonan, obviously, and Chris Albright obviously helped a lot in making this team better with Cincinnati. But Lucho Acosta really is the most important player in their history in making them a better team, right? And there was rumors 2 weeks ago that he was going to be sold to Estudiantes of Argentina. Same exact deal, $5 million. They just couldn't agree to a salary because Lucho Acosta is one of the highest paid players in Major League Soccer. I think he's making around like maybe $4 to $5 million a year, which he's worth every penny for what he does. Man, I'm just really shocked about him going to Dallas. Maybe the deal was he wanted to go to a warmer climate. He didn't want to be up north anymore. He wanted to be somewhere where it was, because dude, he's from Argentina. Like he probably wants to be somewhere where he's not used to the kind of cold climate in, northern United States. So he probably wanted to go somewhere where it's warm, at least like 10 months of the year, like pretty good weather. I still am a little shocked though. And I got a little backlash yesterday because I was like, is he going to play for Dallas? And the only reason I said that is because he was pretty stern about wanting to go back to South America and he did not want to stay in Major League Soccer. So it's not a dig at Dallas, like, oh, he's too good for Dallas. He would never want to play for Dallas. It was just more like he doesn't want to stay in the league. He wants to go back home. So that was my whole point. Like, it's nothing to do with Dallas. I mean, I think it's a good landing spot and they're very lucky to have him. I'm just going to be curious to see what his temperament's going to be, how he's going to feel going through the season playing for this team. Is he going to have another, I don't want to say breakdown, but is he going to have another lapse where he's like, okay, I don't want to be here anymore. I really, really want to go to South America in a year, because they spend a pretty penny for him and they're relying on him to be an important piece in this season.
Yeah, and be an important piece for to raise Peter Musa's transfer value up, that's for sure too. But yeah, I mean, they're going to go in with an MVP candidate and a Golden Boot, candidate. So I know Dallas is going to be interesting. I mean, who knows where they can sneak in? Maybe they could sneak in the playoff play-in game. So it's interesting. All of a sudden, this team does still have a lot of holes, but man, this GM just turned in, Paul Areola, Jesus Ferreira, and if I'm not mistaken, one more guy for Lucho Acosta. So I think it's a great move, to be honest.
We got some good questions here, but before we get to those, guys, we got 44 people in the chat right now. Like this video down below. Me and Favi's goal is to hit 200 by tomorrow on this video, and we're at like 15 right now. So let's try to get that to 50. If you haven't already, smash the like button down below. Subscribe to the channel. Getting close to 6K, which I think we're going to hit by opening weekend, which is a huge accomplishment. Appreciate the support, and hit the little bell notification so you never miss any of the videos. Let's see. One of the questions someone asked was, does Dallas, okay, the guy says Dallas has a fickle fan base, but then Ned followed up and said, does Dallas get an attendance bump by getting Lucho Acosta? Do you think this is going to help get the fans more engaged? Someone like Acosta?
Yeah, I think so. Honestly, I think you lose a guy like Areola, but you gain a guy who's, I would say, more famous, if not more, has a big more notoriety in the league, right? So this is a guy who should bring people to seats. I mean, you came to see Alan Velasco, you're definitely going to come to see Lucho Acosta, right? So no, I think this is something where the FC Dallas fan base has another superstar on their hands and they should be excited. I think the social media team is already doing a good job getting people excited, and I think this is just another step to it. I mean, I think Lucho Acosta is going to bring people in seats too. And then Martin Paz too. They're going to have some very, very, I would say, social media guys. I mean, Martin Paz, anytime they post about him, those posts blow up because Indonesia loves Martin Paz. But yeah, no, I think they're going to be the buzz in MLS, and I think they're going to be interesting. They're going to be fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, someone asked, or Michael Pelly, a loyal listener of the show, said, Lucho to Dallas feels like a waste. Wish he went to Contender or even to Houston to link back up with Vasquez. I think he means Austin because Brandon Vasquez plays for Austin FC, not Houston. would have been interesting. At least he stayed in MLS. I don't think it's a waste because Dallas really was in a weird spot. But a player like Lucho, I talked about this earlier. Lucho Acosta helped build Cincinnati into what they are today. And that was a very broken team with not a lot of talent, in my opinion, when he came there. And I would say Dallas has more talent than what Cincinnati had at that time. I mean, Peter Musa was an expensive striker. I mean, he cost like $12 to $13 million for Dallas. He's no scrub. And he was pretty good last year, considering they didn't have a lot of support around him. So I think you get in MLS, if you have a playmaker and you have a guy that can score goals, link them up together, it can change the whole dynamic of your team and make you a very competitive club. I think Dallas is going to be, I'm actually glad because next week I'm going to drop my power rankings. I'm glad that this did happen before because this definitely changes the equation for me of how I look at the Western Conference. I think Dallas is definitely a contender. Maybe not an MLS Cup contender. Like, I don't think that they wouldn't be my top three, but they're definitely going to be in that middle pack, like, between probably 4 to 7 teams in the MLS Cup playoffs or in the Western Conference. That's how good Lucho Acosta is. That is how good he is. And I think this is how would you rate this signing, Fabi? Like, how big? Obviously it's a big deal, but like, is this like, how big of a deal is it to you?
Yeah, I would say this is like if Giannis went to the Warriors, right? Like this is a big deal if you're an MLS fan. This is an MVP that went to another club. Personally, I'm excited for it. I think Dallas is maybe 1 to 2 players away from being a true contender. I think they have the most GAM, if I'm not mistaken, out of any club. So they definitely have the assets to take a look at this club at the halfway point of the season. And then, hey, if they are in a position to win or in a position of a playoff, they're going to go ahead and buy more players to kind of make sure Lucho Acosta and Peter Musa have the tools around them to do a run. So, no, if I'm an FC Dallas fan, I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. I'm going to games because this is probably the best player you've had in a long time.
Yeah, no, I think he definitely is up there, and he's 30 years old, like we talked about. He's gonna have a couple years. I'm gonna be curious to see how motivated he is. And I think another thing, Fabi, 5 million is not that much for a player of his caliber. 5 million. You were talking about 5 million for Alan Pulido last year. I mean, we're talking about Pulido versus Acosta. I mean, this is a steal. If that's like, we're talking that's the trajectory or the market value. This is a steal. So I think it's a really good deal. I think he's going to revitalize the club. I'm sad for Cincinnati, but Cincinnati is also making a move. Let's talk about that. So obviously Cincinnati had to replace him. Now they signed Kevin Danke. They broke MLS record for the biggest transfer fee, but it was broken like 3 weeks later by Atlanta United. But they spent big money on a striker and Kevin Danke. And everybody's like, man, it's going to be cool to see him in Acosta. If Acosta stays, how dynamic can that duo be? That could be crazy because I talked about having a good striker, having a good playmaker can really get you a long way in MLS. And sadly, they sold him, right? But we both knew that they were going to replace him. We didn't know when, but we knew that they were in the market and they probably had something lined up. Well, according to Gimme Sport, FC Cincinnati is finalizing a deal to sign star Evander from the Portland Timbers. FC Cincinnati are finalizing a blockbuster deal to acquire the attacking midfielder. The deal is for a cash transfer fee, which is a new mechanism that was just recently introduced to MLS. They paid $12 million for him plus add-ons. It's one of the biggest outbound transfers by an MLS club in league history, and it's a club record for Portland selling a player. So Evander was the bright shining star and what was a pretty Jonathan Rodriguez was pretty good too, but he was the star, the key cog in the whole Portland Timbers run to even make the play-in game last year. And he really didn't have a lot of help. And I got a lot of flack because I said I didn't think he was MVP. But either way, he had 15 goals, 15 assists last year for the Portland Timbers. He's 26 years old, Fabi. My question to you is, well, first of all, let's get your reaction. What do you think about that trade?
Yeah, I thought 12 million is a lot, but you're getting another MVP candidate in this league, a player that some people thought should have been MVP last year. So yeah, I mean, you're paying top dollar for a top player in this league. Hopefully, everything pans out in Cincinnati. Evander was disgruntled at the end of last season, but excuse me. Can we just stop and really think about what we're talking about right now? We're talking about two disgruntled MVPs moving within MLS. This is something that personally I haven't seen in all my years of watching MLS, where you're starting to see guys move from club to club like a American professional league. Like this is reminding me, giving me NBA vibes. Like, James Harden wants out of Houston, they move him on to the Clippers, so it's something where it seems like MLS is finally becoming a true professional sport in the United States with these cash for transfers. And shout out to Tom Boger for having all these kind of transfers going, because it was a big domino effect, right? Lucho falls, and then Evander, and then Portland gets their guy on the back end. But yeah, no, it's exciting. It's interesting. I mean, literally all of Cincinnati can look at all the stuff that was said about Evander, and it's so much easier to fall in love with him because he's already been in the league. I mean, they already know what he can bring to the table. This is just going to make their love for Evander grow because they already have like all this back end stuff that they can find and realize that, wait, this guy's going to be good with Denki. So no, I'm excited for it. I talked to Evander personally. He's a nice guy. He's a guy who eventually wants to go to Europe, but if Cincinnati is going to, trampoline him there, then so be it.
Okay. I have a question for the chat. I want to get you guys involved. Who had the better trade? Dallas acquiring Acosta or Cincinnati acquiring Evander? Who had the better trade? Which team got better between the two? I want to know what you guys think. Cincy or Dallas? Also, too, we're at 26 likes, man. 56 of you watching right now. Let's get that to 50. Just smash the like button down below. Help us get to 50. We're going to get to 200 by tomorrow. Me and Favi, every time we're on the stream together, we always crack 100. Mostly, a lot of times we get more than 100. So smash that like button down below. Help us out. Let's see. So Methis says Dallas. Davey says, yo, what's good, Will? Appreciate you stopping by. Jonathan Ling says Dallas. Davey says Cincy. Cute Kenny says Dallas. Timothy says, was there legit European interest in Evander for more than 10 million? I can't confirm or deny that. I'm not exactly sure. I think his value would definitely be more valuable. He would definitely be more valuable in MLS just because of everything he's done more recently. So I would say that since he probably did offer the most money, Davey says glad boy is out of the East. I mean, I'm not. I like. I'm a fan of Lucho Acosta, so I'm not mad about it.
About the cash for trade is that Dallas put it out as like the biggest cash for transfer ever, and then the next day Portland will probably or Cincinnati will probably blow it out of the water with the double amount for a transfer. So it's pretty funny to see that. Like that's only a record for one day.
Yeah, I'm gonna do an actual poll too. I'm gonna ask so that way and keep track of it. Which team got
Lucho's
better?
price actually makes it a very enticing offer. Almost so enticing that I was hoping that the Quakes would get him, because there was rumors about Hernan Lopez leaving and then possibly getting Lucho Acosta in for that spot. So FC Dallas is going to be a fun watch, though, that's for sure. But no, if I'm an FC Dallas fan, I'm ecstatic.
Pesky Bird, who is a member of the channel, which I greatly appreciate. He says, I think since he got better. Let's see. Casey Ellis says both got better, but since he will contend for the cup with the move, Dallas won't. Sight says FC Cincinnati got better. Method says Acosta for $6 million is robbery. I agree. That is kind of crazy when you think about it. Trox says Dallas because I think they were a worse team than Cincy after last year. Andrew from Metro Bulls TV, friend of the show, says he thinks Dallas got better. Steven says Cincy. Pesky Bird says Evander is slightly better, I think. Ooh, that's a good question too. Okay, so let me ask you that question. Which player is better? I asked you which team got better. Do you think at this point Evander or Acosta is better? I think you said you think Evander is slightly a little better, right? Isn't that what you just said a second ago?
I would say the prospect of Evander is better because he's younger and he can still make a move to Europe. But as of right now, I think they're equal. I think they're both MVP candidates.
Well, I'll say this, okay? I agree that they're equal, but the reason why Evander costs more is because he's 4 years younger.
Right.
So obviously you're paying to have him for longer, right? I agree with you though. I think it's pretty damn even, but he is a little younger. So who knows? Maybe he could be better. Maybe we haven't seen the best of Evander because he really wasn't. I mean, you know this better than anybody. He wasn't really happy in Portland. He was playing pretty miserable, right? He wasn't playing in a good state of mind. So who knows? Maybe he is elevated and he's going to have a very talented striker in front of him. So we will see what happens. Pesky Bird says, if Lucho is wanting to win trophies, Dallas is not the place to be. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that because you just never know. Lucho Acosta is very good. He's got Peter Musa now. Anything's possible, right? I mean, I didn't think that Seattle was going to make it to the Western Conference Finals in 2024. No offense, but I don't think anybody thought that the New York Red Bulls was going to make it to the MLS Cup final in 2024. Nobody had that on their bingo card, right? That was the surprise of the season. So, I mean, I think anything's possible. I mean, you got an MVP of the league. Well, I mean, who knows what could happen?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I was looking at Evander's transfer into Portland, and it was a 9.5 million euros. So there was basically a wash. I mean, Portland got an MVP year out of Evander, and then he got disgruntled with the ownership group, and then they had to go ahead and sell him. But at least they got the same thing they paid for him, basically. So I bet you Portland is thinking that this is a win, and you kind of have to just go at it again. And then hopefully those rumors about Jonathan Rodriguez being injured possibly for the season aren't true, because it's going to look a little bleak for Portland in the beginning of the season, I think.
Yes. So do you think that someone asked in the chat earlier, is the East wide open? Like, is the East just a free for all? It's kind of tough. I don't know if I would classify it as that because there are a lot of teams that improved. I mean, I don't know who's going to win it, but I do think there's a separation. I think there's probably 3 to 4 teams who realistically have a chance of winning the Eastern Conference in 2025. I'm not sure. I don't know if Cincinnati's one of those teams right now, honestly.
Yeah, can Columbus recover without Cucho? That's another question mark too.
Yeah, well, I'm dropping my 5 teams who lost the offseason tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. And I can confirm the Crew will be on that list because of everything they've lost, and they haven't replaced any of it yet. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern time. I just don't know. Okay, so Lucho Acosta played this year. They didn't have a striker. I just don't know if Evander and Denke is enough for them to win MLS Cup. I think they still need to reinforce their back line because they had some issues there. Miazga was hurt. Miles Robinson kind of played bad down the stretch. I don't know if they have enough yet. And they lost. Was it Orshano that they lost? I think he was on loan I think he went to a Brazilian team, if I'm not mistaken. He was really good last year. Really, really good. So I don't know if I would put them in that tier yet with Atlanta and Miami, but they're very close. They're very close.
You have Atlanta already in the top upper echelon of the East.
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
So Casey St. Orshano is still in Cincinnati. I thought he was being loaned out to a Brazilian team.
Let me see. I'll look it up.
If he hasn't, I think that was the rumor, right? That was definitely in the works. But either way, I still think that they're a piece away. And I don't know. I think they're definitely gonna be much improved. They're definitely gonna be much improved in 2020 in 2025 because of Kevin Denke, which is something they didn't have because Kevin Kelsey wasn't consistent enough. And by the way, think about that too, Favi. They sold Kevin Kelsey or actually, I think Kevin Kelsey, he was on loan, so they didn't sell him. But Kevin Kelsey played for Cincinnati in 2024, and then he got sold to Portland Timbers. So that's interesting. Let's see. Peskeeper said there was an option to buy Orshano.
Okay.
Barry L loaned out.
Yeah,
Okay.
so Orejano stayed. It was a rumor about him not being paid through Vasco. So that was what was happening. But yeah, Orejano is staying. So it's gonna be Denki, Evander, and Orejano.
Nice. Okay. Well, I still think they're a piece away, maybe, but they're going to be very competitive. Let's see. Davey says 1 through 3, in my opinion, are locks. 4 through 7 is open. I can't disagree with that. Wade Flores says, man, Seattle should have made the move on Evander.
Mm-hmm.
Man, Seattle is. Don't even get me started on
could
Seattle.
Seattle afford $12 million?
I don't know. We can ask Cheyenne if they could. He said San Jose's winning the MLS Cup. Don't get me started.
Seattle should have gone for Lucho Acosta. I texted Cheyenne, and he was saying that, hey, they should have went all in for Acosta instead of Rusnak. And I'm like, yeah, that would have been nice.
Yeah, I definitely agree that. I mean, Rusnak is. I don't think he's DP worthy in today's MLS, but they didn't want to take a chance of losing him and having to replace him. So Seattle, they're just doing things not the way I would do it. So we'll see how that pans out this year and what they end up doing. But I don't think it's. I don't think they're going to win MLS Cup.
Scared money don't make money, right?
Yeah. Where's the team that was signing like Dempsey and Ladero and Obafemi Martins? Where's that team at? Where's the ambitious trend-setting Seattle Sounders? I think that's long gone. Wade says we should have gone for anyone over the 2 DP signings they made. Hey man, you don't like Jordan Morris as a DP? The GOAT? No, I mean I agree. It's I don't want to get any Sounders fans on a tangent or get me on a tangent about Jordan Morris, but yeah, I agree. They definitely didn't do things the way I would have done it. Casey Ellis says Cincy also just signed Lucas Engel from Middlesbrough on loan too. Starting 11 is stacked. Man, I still think they're a piece away, but they're damn close. They're like as close as you can be. Like they are just right there in the mix, right? And here's another thing too. As good as Evander is, as good as Denki is, we haven't seen them play together.
Right.
I mean, on paper, they look good and they could be really good, but then again, they might not be. Like, we need to see this team play as a unit and see what they can do when they actually are on the pitch together before we start making the proclamations of how good they are. But on paper, it looks good. I can't deny it looks great. But maybe what if they don't have any chemistry? What if they don't link up or they're not in sync? I don't know. I just want to see them. I want to see them perform together before I make any I'm going to have to make a preseason prediction anyway, but that's just my feelings. Like right now, I just think they're right on the outside of being a true MLS Cup contender.
Yeah, I think you still have to go through Miami on the East Coast, so it's a little tough. I mean, if it was the West, maybe you could say they would contend with Seattle, LA Galaxy with all those injuries. But 100%, you have to worry about Miami. I know Miami's not getting any younger, but they're probably still a top dog in the East for me.
Okay, so moving on, because I want to talk about the replacement, and then we'll talk a little bit more about some other things maybe the chat wants to talk about. What was the name of the player that the Timbers are reportedly interested in signing to replace?
He's from RC Lens.
RC Lens, and I know his last name's he's a Portuguese international. I think his last name's Acosta. If I'm not mistaken.
I don't think it's Acosta.
I think it's like, let me see. I'm gonna pull up the roster real quick. It is David DaCosta. Okay, that's who it is. David DaCosta. Okay, let's pull him up. So David DaCosta is the rumored replacement, and we'll pull up the article in a second, so that way I can give some credit to I think you said Tom was the one who reported it. That David Costa or De Costa, I'm not sure how he pronounces it, is going to be the replacement for Evander at Portland. He's only 24 years old. He's 24 years old. He's played 107 matches at Lens. He's got 9 goals. Lens has been in the first division his entire time there. He's a playmaker. Like, it's going to be a direct replacement for him. It looks like they were going to pay I think $6 million for him. I think, and his market value on transfer market is 7 million euros. So this looks like the ideal replacement for Evander. What are your thoughts on him coming in here and playing under Neville and being the Evander replacement.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically a reset button, right? I mean, you get Evander 2 years ago, basically. This is a guy who has played in the first flight of the French league, so I would say coming in better than Evander did, right? Evander came with a high price point from Michelin, and I mean, I would say I would take the first flight in France as a better league. So no, I like the transfer. I think it's a great move for Portland. I think it's a little bit on the cheap side. I think they're doing good, kind of getting these affordable players at 24, and then maybe they can go ahead and sell them for a profit, or maybe who knows, they could sell them to another MLS team for a profit, right? So it's interesting to see, but no, 100%. This is a good transfer in my book for Portland.
I want to ask the chat another question here because we have done so many weekly updates from, I want to say late December until it's almost halfway through February. You got that 28 piece in this month, right? A very short month. And I want to ask you guys this. Has this been the best MLS offseason in the history of the league? And since you've been watching this, has this been the best offseason of all time in MLS? And while you guys tell me that, let's check the update and see how many likes we got. I think we were at 37 last I checked. We're at 38. Come on, guys. 12 more likes to hit 50. We're trying to hit 200 by tomorrow. Hit that like button down below. Help us out. Also, let us know what you guys think and subscribe to the channel. We're like 240 away from 240 subs away from 6K. Man, we're so close. We're going to hit that by MLS opening day.
If we get to 50 likes, I'll ask the question I've always wanted to ask Will. So if you guys want to know what I've always wanted, Will doesn't even know what I'm going to ask him. So if you guys want to know, if you guys want to know what I'm going to ask Will, get that to 50 likes. Because I was thinking about this the other day. I was wondering.
Hey, all right, we get to 50. He's asking me. Seems like Method says seems like it 1,000%. Rocky says yes, despite losing Evander. I think this is the best offseason. There's been so many big transfers. It feels like even though there's been a lot of teams, because I'm going to talk about this tomorrow in my video, there's a lot of teams that haven't done anything this offseason, but there's a lot of teams that have done a lot this offseason. Very active, right? And it's not realistic to think every single team is going to do something, right? Sadly, that's just not how it is. But there's been a lot of teams, Fabi, that have done a lot. Like even your team in your backyard, not your club that you support, but your team in your backyard is doing stuff when they normally don't do anything.
Yeah, a team like San Diego hasn't done much, to be honest. What team hasn't really done much? I think a lot of teams have done a lot.
Well, I don't want to say because it's going to give away my list, but there are some. I'll give you one that's going to be on the list. Okay, sneak peek. The Crew, they haven't done anything. They've gotten rid of everybody.
Yeah, that's true.
They've gotten worse this offseason. So that's I mean, that sucks when a team who is one of the better teams in the league doesn't do anything.
Right.
They're getting worse. Like they lost Cucho. They lost who else? They lost Christian Ramirez. There's talks about Steven Moreira leaving.
Right.
Who else did they lose? They lost someone else.
Austin has a rumor now. So yeah.
They lost Aiden Morris in the summer last year, and I don't think they really ever replaced him. I think Dawan Jones, I think it left, or he was rumored to be leaving. So there's just a lot of people who didn't really do much.
But now they have Chase Adams, the American Holland.
Yeah, exactly. We'll see if that translates to MLS. It probably won't.
All right. So we got to 50 likes.
Hold on. Before you do that, before you ask me, suspense. Pesky Bird, who is a member of the channel, says definitely very good offseason. Cringe says San Jose, another member of the channel, appreciate it. San Jose might be a threat this season. We will talk about that too. But go ahead. Sorry. What is the question you've always wanted to ask me? I'm very curious about this.
All right, here we go. Now I'm embarrassed. All right. How are your eyes so blue?
Are they blue?
Like, do you have a light that's bluish behind the camera? Like, how do you get your eyes to be that blue?
I just have like a normal light.
Yeah, man. I was thinking that the other day. I was like, man, those are like the bluest eyes I've ever seen.
Nah, dude, I don't do it. I mean, I guess I just got a camera that like really uh I don't want to say outline, but just brings out my eyes. But no, I just have like a very, very tiny camera on my monitor.
Yeah, okay.
Nothing crazy. And I mean, because look, I mean, I got this Titans jacket, my team, by the way. The Titans and the Lakers are the two teams I ride or die for, by the way, just in case you guys didn't know that. Because I don't have any MLS team. I mean, it's just normal blue, man. I guess
But your eyes are bluer than the Titans logo.
yeah, I don't know, man. I guess they're just blue. Well, you'll just have to see in person if they
Hey,
Davey says Will got blessed with the beautiful blue eyes. Oh man. Oh man. You got people. Hey, listen, guys, listen. It's 2 days before Valentine's Day. Let's chill. Let's chill, dude. Let's chill. Okay. We got 2 days. We got 2 days before that.
That's funny.
Cringe says, hey, yo,
Hey,
Favi.
yo. No, I've always wondered. I'm like, dude, my mom has blue eyes, but they're not as blue as Will's. And I'm like, hey, yo, what's going on?
I'll FaceTime you later. We'll see if they're blue on there.
Hey, yo, no.
Timothy says this window is still missing a true big name signing: Griezmann, De Bruyne, etc. I think that those type of moves are going to come in the summer. I don't think that's going to happen during the winter transfer window. But
LAFC did make a lot of moves to open up space for Griezmann, so that was something. I mean, Kike Oliveira going today, Bogish leaving, so they definitely made some space for Griezmann.
yeah, we'll see. Hey, we'll see if LAFC's on the list tomorrow. Let's see. Davey says, "Will, I'll trade you to pick 3 for pick 1 and a few more picks so we can get Shador." Hey, man, I'm all for it. You guys can have Shador. I'm down with it, dude. I am down with it. That's the trade I want to happen. Pesky Bird says, "I've never seen such icy blue eyes."
Right, that's exactly what I like. I don't want to say what LaMelo Ball said to get fined, but I've never seen anything like that.
Oh, maybe I need to start, dude. Maybe people are watching my videos and they're seeing my eyes. They're not even listening to what I'm saying. They're stargazing. I need to start wearing some shades, I guess, when I start doing videos.
I think your red mustache is like a good kind of like how do I say this? It like counterbalances it,
An accent, like a not a substitute, but a complimentary
it
piece
makes it
to
look
it.
more blue, I think.
Oh man, it's the red hair, dude. So people are asking. A couple people asked about Pogba. Pogba needs to happen. Pogba would absolutely top the window off, in my opinion. He's a mess. I just don't think that's going to happen either. I think Pogba is still going to stay in Europe. Oyem says Pogba finished.
Yeah. Well, he was training with Miami, or he was in Miami, something like that. So that, I mean, shoot, if Miami is done doing all their transfers and they want to pick up a guy on a red shirt, why not?
So let me ask this. Let me ask you this real quick. Do you think after this move with the Timbers, right? Do you think this is going to start to die down? Do you think we've pretty much seen the bulk of the moves? Because the window doesn't actually close. I think that they can make additions, which the MLS transfer window is messed up, guys. It's really messed up. I want to say that it's open until like March, but you can sign players until May if they're frees. It's really weird. It's like the longest transfer window ever. Do you think that this is pretty much done? Do you think we're going to keep seeing more moves, or do you think we've pretty much seen everything?
I think personally, I think we're pretty much done. I think this is
until the summer at least, right?
Yeah, I think you're going to see like auxiliary guys. You're going to see small transfers, GAM, international slots. But I think the big trades, Evander's a big one. Lucho's a big one. I think this is the end of it, to be honest.
Yeah, I would say that this is we've pretty much seen. There might be 1 or 2, but we've seen pretty much everything. Now this is interesting too. Davey says if you see Santi leave, you could see New York City FC make a big move. Yeah, I think Santiago Rodriguez. Was it Botafogo? He was linked, I think, rumored with, because they were going to replace Thiago Almada with him, and I could see that, but I don't know. I think maybe they might wait it out until the summer. I don't know if they're really going to be able to sign a big player until they get that new stadium. I think they're kind of like being a little more conservative. I think there's a lot of players that don't want to play in that stadium just because it's kind of a little different, right? I mean, Yankee Stadium's obviously historic, but there are players that don't want to play there. I think when they get their stadium, it's going to be a game changer. But if they do lose Santiago Rodriguez and they lost Mihajlovic, who I think was loaned to a Belgian team, if I'm not mistaken, they're going to have a couple things they need to replace. But I mean, has New York City FC even made a signing this offseason?
I mean, not that I've seen. I watched them at Coachella, and it was like they still had the same names. They still had Tavon Gray. I almost felt like Maxi Morales was still out there. So no, I didn't see anything new, to be honest.
That's what I'm saying. Like, some teams have done nothing.
Yeah, that's definitely one.
Yeah, they've done nothing. Like, you can't, even the Galaxy, who won MLS Cup, added some players. So I just think that if you're a team that won MLS Cup, you definitely should be adding players, because teams that are winning MLS Cup are adding players.
Right.
So it's gonna be interesting when that video releases tomorrow, what you guys think about it. But this off season has been incredible. It's hard to believe next Saturday the MLS season starting. We will be back. We will be back to making weekly recaps, which I really enjoy making, and giving you guys updates.
If you really think about it, this is our first week of soccer, right? Like, practice, availabilities. They're starting to get into the mode of, hey, our first game is on Saturday. So really, I hate to say it, the season's starting now, guys. It's not one more week. It's the season's now.
Yeah, I would. Well, I mean, the actual first game, the season is starting, but the first game is next Saturday, which I'm really excited about. And the off season was kind of long. I know that you were happy to have the break, but dude, think about everything in between. It really has been a long off season. Like, the San Jose Earthquakes haven't played a game in almost 4 months.
Thank God.
Yeah, well, not anymore, right? Because of Chicho, Bruce Arena, and Joseph Martinez.
They pulled a preseason match today and got smoked 5-1. So
that's where they want it. That's what they want you to think.
Yeah,
they got you where they want. They got you where they want you. But I think that this has been a very interesting offseason. I'm very excited to see what happens. The predictions for the season is going to be interesting next week. There's going to be some fans that are always mad at me, but the truth is, guys, every team can't be number one. Only one team in each conference can be the first seed. That's just how it is. Someone's got to be 1 and someone's got to be 15. Like, that's just how it is. Not everybody. I can't do a 15-way tie for first place. But that's we make predictions. We see what happens. I'm going off of the information that we have right now about the teams that have signed. But I can tell you this. This season is going to be the best season in MLS history, because the league gets better each year. And I think it is this year specifically because everything that they've done. There's a lot of high-quality teams. MLS is unpredictable. And let's just enjoy the ride. We'll see what happens. We will call out MLS when it needs to be called out if they're not doing things to their best ability. But we're going to enjoy the matches, and we're going to see what happens. I want to know.
And how about this? This season's going to be better because people are actually going to be able to watch, because they have the T-Mobile deal again.
Yeah, talk about that real quick. Just talk about what you think about all that, because I don't think you've been on since everything has been announced.
Yeah, look, the T-Mobile deal's huge. How many people out here have T-Mobile, and then how many of their friends have T-Mobile? So if you don't have an MLS season pass, you can go get a code from anybody that has a T-Mobile account or a T-Mobile Tuesday account, and that's huge. That is such a big thing, and I'm super glad that that's back. And I want to say, MLS is going to be better this year because they gave Will his complimentary MLS season pass finally. So welcome to the big boy club, Will. You deserve it.
It was funny. I was in bed last night and I checked my email, and I was just checking my email and stuff and just seeing, like, at the end of the day, and I saw MLS Communications. I'm like, yo, could this be? And then I saw it and I was like, yeah, that's awesome. That's really good. It looks like they're actually trying to make a push and get some people watching, which is nice.
In the subject line, it said, "Watch MLS season pass with your big blue eyes."
I'm gonna have to get some shades, man. I'm gonna have to get some color contacts or something. But let me know, guys, in the chat. Let me know this: are you guys going to buy MLS season pass in 2025? Or do you get it for free because you're a season ticket holder? Either one, it doesn't matter. Are you going to have MLS season pass, regardless of how you get it? Are you going to get MLS season pass in 2025? Let me know down below. I have it. Favi's got it with MLS, with T-Mobile. He's got the T-Mobile hookup. He's got the season ticket holder hookup. He's got hookups for hookups for hookups.
I'm lucky.
He's got more hookups than Valentine's Day, dude. I'm telling you. So he will definitely have it. Davey says they laid off all the people for Will. That's how he's making waves. No, I haven't gotten hired by anybody yet, but as far as that goes, he says I have it for free this season. From I think he says season tickets. Casey says season ticket holder, get it for free. Lewis says I'll buy it for £99 in England. Not sure if it's the same in the US. It's like $80 if you have Apple TV Plus.
I would say look for a code on eBay. Save yourself some money there.
Yeah. Millie Tube says I'll be on there for the third year in a row. Jonathan Ling says it is. I think he's talking about the season being better. Rocky says he's an Apple hater. Timothy says I'm buying it because I'm an MLS dope fiend. Right? OEM says yes, I'm getting MLS season pass. Have had it since the beginning. Cringe says yes, it's an auto payment. And Trox says yes, 2023 I only watched the free games. 2024 I had season tickets, but this year I will buy it. Davey says sometimes FC 25 give out a free code for a month. Pesky Birds is going to buy it for the second year in a row. Well, listen, I'm glad you guys are buying it. Because at the end of the day, if we want this thing to grow, we're going to have to support it. But that doesn't mean you can't call out its flaws. I'm going to call it out. But I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Someone said I'm compromised now because they gave me a free pass. I can guarantee you that I am not going to hold back. Listen, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I have said stuff about Don Garber that made me think I was going to be put on a blacklist for MLS, so I'm not going to change anything up. We're going to keep it the same, and we're going to call the league out when it needs to be called out.
Yeah. You go, Will. and I'm going to hold everybody accountable too.
We're going to get Favi to tweet something about Don Garber later.
I don't know about that.
hey, listen, if we get 100 likes before the stream ends, Favi will say something about Don Garber that is not positive on stream. On stream.
They're going to clip it.
Not positive. You can say whatever you want. You could say anything like, hey, he's got too much hair. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Let's see. Aram Bala says, hi from Montreal, Canada. Obviously a Montreal FC, which I still call them the Impact. I will always call them the Montreal Impact. Appreciate you for stopping by. OEM says, call them out. Just don't become a hater like so many MLS haters out there. I mean, look, I watch this league too much. I tweet too much to be a hater. You know what I'm saying? Like I spend way too much time to be a hater.
Yeah.
So, try to think if there's anything else we could discuss before we end the stream.
The Super Bowl commercial. I thought that was a good one.
Yeah. So what did you think about, you talking about the Messi with the football? He said football is over,
Yep.
Football begins.
Yep. That's all you need. That's all you needed to do. Put Messi in a commercial with an American football. Tim Cook retweeted a picture or posted a picture with Messi. That's another ad. They really need to just pump that up. And Messi probably being at the Super Bowl is also an ad in a way, right? So no, 100%. I liked all that interaction, all that crossover, because at the end of the day, that's only going to get more people to watch.
Yeah, I think that I watched Severance. I don't know if anybody else in the chat watches Severance, but it's a very good show. They've been promoting the hell out of it this season, just getting people excited. They've done commercials here, commercials there, ads, link ups, all kinds of stuff.
I actually have something big. Android now can have Apple TV. So if you have an Android phone now, you can watch MLS. So that's actually huge too.
Yeah, no, that is a big deal. That was a huge complaint. People saying that because they had Androids, they weren't able to watch the game on their phone. But the Apple TV app is officially on Android devices. Favi, I'll say this. The Apple and MLS are doing a full Hail Mary. They're doing everything they can. They're staggering games. They're having Sunday night primetime games. They're
Perfect.
giving out the pass for free on T-Mobile. They are adding it to Android devices. They are promoting it a little bit more than they used to. They are definitely doing probably 5 times, no, probably more than that, probably 20 times more work than what they did in 2024.
Right.
2023, they did a little bit, but
They
they're
did.
really going all out now.
Yeah, they pulled it back in 24, but now it seems like they're really adjusting to everything that they heard, and they're like, hey, the fan base wants this, let's just give it to them.
So I heard that Apple TV has a pullout, an opt-out clause in 20 after the 5-year mark. So 20 after the 2027 season, they have an option to part ways with MLS. So I think what they're doing is they're really trying to go all out, see if this works, and that way they know if it's going to, if it's going to work or not. Like they're actually trying to see if this thing is, if it's plausible, if people are going to watch, if people are interested on this on the platform. They are actually putting some resources into it. So we will see if it makes a difference. I have Apple devices. I know you have Apple devices, but I know that there's a lot of people, especially, Samsung Android is the most popular phone in the world, Fabi. So all these people internationally, because it is global, right? They can't watch it on their phone because they don't have an iPhone. iPhones are more prevalent maybe in some parts of Europe and obviously the United States, but there's a lot of places in Asia and some countries in Europe that don't have Apple devices, so it's hard for them to watch. So this is a big deal, man.
No, it's a huge deal. And I'm just so happy that like count is not even near 100 right now. I'm so happy.
100. Hey, listen, 100 likes and Fabi will say something negative about Don Garber.
Let me tell you this, dude. It's at 65. Let's keep it down there, dude. Let's not like this stream anymore.
No, don't do that.
No, I'm kidding.
You could say, no. Well, we'll leave that up if we hit the 100 before the stream ends. Timothy says no, MLS isn't doing everything until they scrap the cap. Well, that's sadly not going to happen. But Cheyenne says Favi is a fraud. He is. He is a fraudster. He's a snake oil salesman. He tells you what you want to hear until it really matters. But yeah, I mean, I think that this is going to be an interesting season. This is going to be a great season. We will see where everything happens. One of the things I've done recently is I reflected. I looked back at where I was a year ago, February of 2024, with this channel, compared to now. We're doing live streams we weren't doing a year ago. I'm on camera. We weren't a year ago. We're making all kinds of connections, interviews. Alexi Lawless has been on the channel. Taylor Twellman's been on the channel. Max Bredos has been on the channel. Ian Paul Joy's been on the channel. My friend Tactical Manager, aka Filippo's been on the channel. We've had so many people, influencers, big time people, yourself on the channel. And it's just crazy to think about how far we've gone and where we're going to go in 2025. We're going to make this the best year. We're going to hit 10,000 subscribers by the summer, I believe. We're definitely going to hit it by the end of the year, but we're probably going to hit it by the summer. And we are going to Cheyenne, the biggest. He is the biggest guy I've had on the channel. What am I even talking about? He is by
San
far.
Jose fan.
Yeah, he is a San Jose fan. He left the Sounders. He's a San Jose fan now. Lewis says, "Oh God, not Tactical Manager. Can't stand that guy. Had to shower after." Yeah. Well, hey, listen, we don't hate around here. We bring everybody on regardless, and we talk about things. We have discussions, and we let you guys decide which one if you agree with either one of us or disagree with both of us. Either way, but 2025 is going to be a big year. We're going to hit 10K subs at some point. We're going to keep growing, and we're going to be the biggest MLS content creator that there is. And I can't wait to see what happens. Favi, I'm gonna give the floor to you on your closing statements. Anything you want to say about the 2025 season?
Well, I'm excited for the season. I think the moves that Apple has made this season have been good ones. T-Mobile is a big one. Make sure you hit up all your friends for their codes before you pay the $100, because a lot of people in this country have T-Mobile nowadays. But yeah, no, I'm excited because more people are watching more of our moments. The more people are going to be posting about it, interacting with their friends. So I think having no paywall, was the best way, but I think this is the best way in the real world, to be honest. So that T-Mobile code is a big one. And then as well as all the ads and everything. So no, I'm definitely excited. The jerseys came out. That was a cool rollout. It's the first time in this offseason where the jerseys really didn't feel that big of a deal because the transfers were so crazy, right? So it feels like we're finally becoming a real sports league in the United States. So no, I'm excited for the 2025 season.
Yeah, it's going to be a great season, guys. Like I said, we're going to end it here. Like the show down below. Millie2, appreciate you. He says, like this video before it ends. MLS family, appreciate your work. Will MLS still a top 10 league?
The T-Mobile thing is for next Tuesday. So, guys, make sure you check next Tuesday.
What is it now?
The T-Mobile MLS season pass is for next Tuesday.
Yeah.
So make sure next Tuesday you check.
Yes, check that out. Try to get it's the best deal you can, whether it be free or a link up or join a family plan. Keep that in mind, guys. If you're on an Apple TV plan with somebody, like the family plan, you all can split the MLS season pass together. So my dad has it now, and he will not watch it, sadly. So shame on him. But he has it if he wants to watch it. Guys, I appreciate you for tuning in. This is going to be the last MLS update, I think, of the offseason, because the season starts next week. We're going to be dropping some predictions for the season. Hope you enjoyed all these streams of the MLS updates and MLS moves. Like the show down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. 240 subs away from 6,000, which is crazy. Hit the little bell notification so you never miss a video. And also, consider being a member of the channel. There is a link down below, only 10 cents a day. It helps us make the content. And also there are special perks where we do members only live streams where you can ask me anything. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Hopefully soccer, not about my eyes, apparently. But you can talk about anything on the live stream. You guys get sneak peeks of videos, thumbnails, all that kind of stuff. It really helps us out. So consider being a member of the channel. And Pesky Bird, who was my first member, says, trust me, guys, it's worth it. And I appreciate you, Pesky Bird, for being a member of the channel for almost 2 months. Really, really appreciate it. Until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.